If Batfleck took on Bale's Bane, he would be cracking Tom Hardy over his name. Like,
Right. Welcome to the Monarch Experience podcast. Here at the Monarch Experience podcast, we are all about giving students the platform to be able to voice their opinions about the things that matter to them. Today, there's something that matters to me so much. My favorite superhero growing up, my favorite superhero as a grown-up, my favorite superhero forever. This shouldn't come as a surprise because you clicked on the episode that said Batman. So where'd you think I was going to go? You think I was going to say Aquaman? Come on. We're talking about Batman today, and I am so excited. Before we jump into this, though, make sure that you're following us on social media, on Snapchat at the Monarch Experience Podcast. You know to look for the bald guy. Follow us on TikTok at Monarch XP, and then, of course, follow us on Twitter at the Monarch XP. Let's jump right into this. We've got a lot to cover. This is a long one. We've got two incredible guests. Here they are. All right, so we have got two incredible, I would say marvelous, but Batman is obviously not Marvel, so I'll have to skip that kind of an introduction. But we've got two incredible people. We've got Rohan, former Memorial student, former content creator, former OG content creator, former student council. I mean, what other things do we have, Rohan, that we could use to introduce you? Rohan, say hey to our audience.
Hello, everyone.
That's it? No follow-up?
No follow-up.
Just a statement. I
Just
like it. Rohan, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, just wrapped up midterms. So
midterms.
Very good, very good.
Let our middle school students know how good they have it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
In a minute or less.
Yes, so CAs, you only have 4 of them plus 1 PVA. PVAs are great. Learn to appreciate projects because tests are not fun. You have 1 for each class, so midterms. I mean, some of them are easy, but like some of them are more difficult. So, you know, enjoy the CAs. I never thought I'd say this, but enjoy the CAs.
I think you have any Memorial current student listening likely throwing up as they hear you say that. Enjoy the CAs.
They will understand.
Don't tell us what to do. Rohan, it is so great to see you. It's so great to have you on this. Of all the students and of all the former students that I could think of, that would be so good to be doing a Batman episode on. You're the man. And speaking of the man, we've also got a Monarch Experience first. This is really, really cool because I've been kind of like going back and forth with doing this throughout the 65 episodes that we've had, and of all, this is the one. We've got Mr. Media Specialist, Library Book Laminator Man himself. We've got Mr. Bucci.
I'm so excited.
What's happening?
Oh, man, this is great. I have been wanting to be on this podcast, but I didn't want to put Mr. Ancona on the spot and be like, hey, can you invite me on? But this is the episode for me to debut on, is Batman. Batman is my guy.
I like debut on. This is cool because what you're doing, you're really kind of opening doors in a way to get students and teachers on at the same time, and I feel like this could kind of shake up the structure, the dynamic of the podcast a little bit, which I think is good. And listen, for the rest of the staff, if you want to get on, like, let's make it happen. You tell me topics and we can do it. We don't have to always have a student on. We could just have a couple of teachers talking about a topic. We could just talk about students the whole time. That'll go over well.
Yeah.
Mr. Bucci, so happy that you're here. Rohan, so happy that you're here. Let's talk Batman. Let's talk Batman. There's no real reason we're doing this, too. Like, there's no, like, movie coming out. There's no, like, anniversary. I'm sure we could find something that we could tie it into.
The Flash is coming out in June.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a Batman movie.
With the reprise of Michael Keaton's Batman.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah,
yes.
How do you have
Michael
a Flash
Keaton?
movie and then you have Michael Keaton coming to steal the show? Like,
Yeah, oh yeah,
that's
you're stealing the show
That's
there.
not fair to the
Yeah.
Flash.
Totally going to
you know?
steal it. Yeah, and Ben Affleck's Batman's supposed to be in it as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, are
Yeah.
they doing like a Batman verse?
I guess. Yeah.
I really
Okay.
thought that I thought Ben Affleck was done, after the Snyder cut, right? That was like his final movie. He got like kind of his trilogy.
Right, but yeah, I know he's in this. He's not in it for as long as Keaton is supposed to be in it. But I think from what I've read online, he's only in the beginning, which I guess pushes Flash out of that universe and into what eventually is going to be the Keaton universe.
Why is Batman objectively cooler than Superman?
Okay, Batman, he can bend all the rules of superheroes. He can do, like, I don't know, like, if Batman vs. Superman really covers it that much, but all, like, the other Batman material, like, the animated ones, he just does whatever he wants, and, like, but he does follow his own one rule, don't kill. Like, he kind of follows that, like, very strictly.
Except when he doesn't.
Except when
Which
he
is in,
doesn't.
like, every movie. See, that's what's funny about Batman v Superman is everyone was up in arms that, Batman kills in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess you didn't see the other Batman movies because he kills just about in every other one. He kills in Batman 89. He kills in Batman Returns. Batman Forever, I don't remember so much.
I don't
I'm
think
sure
he kills in
somebody
Batman
there.
Forever.
No, well, doesn't
in The Dark
doesn't he
Knight-
kill Two-Face?
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
Like I mean, you know that he's standing on that beam, and when he goes to flip the coin, you know that if you throw those coins up in the air, he's going to reach for him, and like it's kind of like second degree.
Yeah.
And same thing in the Nolan movies,
Yeah.
which everyone holds in high regard, which, I mean, I do too, but he lets Ra's al Ghul die, which is essentially, he's like, I'm not going to save you. Okay, so you're essentially allowing him to be killed.
That's like the teenager, you didn't tell me not to.
Yeah, and same thing in, The Dark Knight Rises. He practically kills Talia. I mean, he's like blowing her up with the Batwing, or I think it's just called the Bat.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like everyone got so up in arms in BVS, and I'm like,
it happens in every other one.
He's been doing this in every movie. Like, why all of a sudden are people up in arms about that? But I don't know. It was such like a weird time when that movie came out, and I think it has to do with Marvel, just the Marvel competition of
and
Civil War at the time. It's like a battle line was drawn, and like, you had to pick one or the other. I'm like, why can't we just like both?
And
but that's with everything.
Yeah,
you have to pick. Are you this or you're that? It's like you can enjoy both.
So Batman is just objectively the coolest superhero out there. I think Marvel's Spider-Man takes the cake for like coolest superhero, just because Spider-Man is Spider-Man. But I think overall Batman wins just because he does things that no other superhero can. And the best part is he's just a man. He represents like peak mortality, he will die at some point, but he's so like physically strong and mentally strong at the same time. Like, I remember there's like a Batman journal, right? Some author like wrote about like kind of like his log, right? And he like bench presses like 1,000 pounds or something, and he can still outrun most Olympic sprinters. And is like
and he goes toe to toe with Superman, who is the strongest superhero ever, and like he's the only person that could do that.
Exactly.
And I thought the Christian Bale portrayal, I think it was it probably was Dark Knight or maybe it was Batman Begins. I thought they did a nice job of showing the strength too, because I feel like in a lot of the other portrayals of him, it's Val Kilmer in a turtleneck, it's George Clooney being like snarky, and you're like, where is this guy like physically? I know he's got the rubber suit, but Christian Bale's doing. Like he's waking up and you can see him beat up, bruises everywhere, and immediately starts doing push-ups. Like, and
I remember that one scene watching that with my dad. I'm like, I gotta do that.
I remember thinking like, so that's Batman being like jacked and like actually taking care of his body, like where Alfred's even bringing him like, drink this, like you need your recovery.
Also, one thing I didn't like about the Nolan movies was that Batman wasn't massive. Like Batman Begins, he was like a full 220 pounds. Like he was pretty big in Batman Begins. But then they dropped him to 180 for production costs. I don't know why they did that. They should have kept like a more, because he became kind of like slender to a certain extent, right? I think they should have kept him as like a little bit bigger. And I think that's what the new Batman movie, it captures that physicality of him. But we'll get to the Batman 2022. I have a whole.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
So speaking of Bruce Wayne, why don't we do this right now? Who do you think who has the best Bruce Wayne portrayal? Just purely Bruce Wayne, because when you think Bruce Wayne, you got to think both the billionaire, playboy type guy, and you got to think also the tortured kind of like, my parents are dead, and I'm living in a castle all by myself.
So,
Rohan, we'll start with you. Who do you think has the best Bruce Wayne portrayal?
Best Bruce Wayne portrayal either has to go to Pattinson or Bale. Bale portrays that kind of like very charismatic, like ladies' man kind of guy. Like you can see, like he just casually picks up supermodels. Like, I bought the restaurant, so they can like whatever do whatever in like the pool or something like that. I remember that it was like in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And he's like casually like just dishing around money because he's Bruce Wayne, the playboy billionaire, and Pattinson captures not the greatest Bruce Wayne portrayal, like the playboy side. He captures like the emotional trauma of what it's like to like have such a tortured soul. And the best thing that brings that out is when Alfred picks up the explosive package from the Riddler. And Bruce, like, he's completely distraught. He buries that pain down, like, stuffs it down, and then he finally brings out that trauma just so he can face his fear. And as Alfred tells him, like, the truth about how his parents died, it wasn't as bad as he thought it was, but, like, it forced him to come to, like, conclusions with, like, come to terms with himself. Like, I am depressed, and the whole movie's about him like turning from a symbol of vengeance to a symbol of hope, right? So I think they're gonna show a character arc as in like Batman becoming more like Bruce Wayne, showing his more like playboy billionaire side, right?
Pattinson's Bruce Wayne looks miserable to be around.
Yeah, he is.
Like I would not want to know him, hang out with him.
He's depressed,
super emo,
but
emo.
He brings out like that, like really depressed, dark side of him. So like he represents like that very brooding, like built. Like Pattinson got like pretty jacked. He wasn't lean. He was jacked. Because he didn't have like those like etched abs or like that Bale had, right? But he was like massive. He was big.
I'm forgetting Pattinson's body type. I guess
I remember
I know why. It's because when I think Pattinson, I think of Brock Osweiler because they look exactly the same. So I'm thinking like 6'7" string bean. I appreciate you knowing that reference. But I guess I always pictured Christian Bale as being way more compact and physically stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I get what yeah, but like I remember there's this one shot, like he's like trying to solve the mystery, right? So he's just shirtless in the room, and then there's one shot of him walking out of his room like putting on a shirt. You see his back, it's massive. I mean, like he's got like the muscle, and when he puts on the bat suit, he's just like an absolute unit, and he has the height for
all
it.
I picture is just Brock Osweiler. I cannot unsee it. Bucci, who's your best Bruce Wayne portrayal?
I think I got to go also with Christian Bale. I think he meets, like, Batman's almost like a trinity in itself, because you have Batman, and then you have Bruce Wayne, the masked Bruce Wayne, which is like the playboy millionaire, and then there's Bruce Wayne, the person, the real Bruce Wayne, and Bale portrays all three of those. There's three different characters he's playing in that movie. And I think he does the best job of bringing those out without it ever coming across as like over the top or too moody.
Oh yeah,
that was my problem with Pattinson. I felt like it was too much, to the point where like I personally didn't enjoy it. I didn't buy it, but I think Bale was like the peak portrayal for Bruce Wayne. Now Batman, that's another question. If you say who's the best Batman.
We'll get there for sure.
That's different. But when Bruce Wayne, it definitely goes to Bale.
I agree, Bucci, with what you're saying. I've only watched... How many times have you watched The Batman? Have you seen it twice?
I saw it in theaters, and then when it came on HBO Max, I watched it again, and like I stopped... I really loved the first 20 minutes. I think the first 20 minutes is some of the best Batman on film.
Yeah.
And then I kind of get like... I don't want to say bored, but I get disinterested.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very long movie.
I loved it in the movie theaters. It did not, and we'll talk about this movie, I'm sure, in a little bit more depth soon. I didn't feel while I was loving it while I was watching it. I definitely totally recognized the length and felt the length and felt my stamina kind of waning as I was watching it. It wasn't like Dark Knight, because I remember Dark Knight was like 2 hours and 45 minutes, which at the time was like really, really long.
You didn't feel it. You didn't feel it at all.
No, I didn't feel it at all. That movie ended, and I was like, wait, it's over? Wait, it's been 3 hours? But yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying about Bucci, about Christian Bale's portrayal, because I think you see that the tortured side a lot more in Batman Begins with the whole Rachel stuff, and then obviously, I mean, you see it with Rachel in the second one as well. But him kind of learning how to cope with it. I think that you have those scenes with who played Rachel in the first one? Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Kate, no, not Kate.
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes, yeah. Like you see the scenes like where he's like in the kitchen with her and they're talking. Then obviously like the letter. I feel like there's a lot there that you see that when I think of the trilogy, I kind of don't think of the tortured one as much. But I think I agree with you. Christian Bale, I think, is the best Bruce Wayne portrayal in a real life live action version of Batman. As far as Batman is concerned, from looks to cadence to voice, even all things, what would you say is the best Batman portrayal? Rohan, we'll let you go first.
Yeah. All right. So my Batman list. So Batman, in terms of Batman, I kind of rank him by 3 attributes. So number 1 is physicality. Does he meet the Batman profile? Because Batman in the comics is a monster. 240 pounds, 6'2". Like, he is like insane. So does he come close to that? So, and then physicality. Then I say fight scenes. Like, what are the fight scenes like? And then the third thing was like, does he like the voice? The voice is also very important. So
Rohan, I'm going to cut in on you. Christian Bale's voice, yay or nay?
Nay.
Okay.
So I will get to the voice. Voice is very interesting, but physicality, I think Pattinson takes the cake for that, just because of just how he's built. I know you can't really picture it, but trust me, if you rewatch the movie or just see a couple of clips as he's Batman, because they took a lot of inspiration from like tactical armor suits and stuff, so it made him look like bigger and bulkier, right? So then
I do want to rewatch it. I just have to find like 3.5 hours to sit and do it.
So then second is Affleck, right? He's what they call like fat Batman. What's his name? Frank Miller's Batman. Like
totally Frank Miller's Batman.
Massive. Like I know Ben Affleck got like super cut for the movie, and they're like, we're doing like a fat Batman, like Frank Miller thing, and he's like, understood, and he just got massive. Right? And like you can definitely tell like he is packed on a lot of like mass for this movie.
Yeah,
like,
and you could see it through the suit too, which I appreciate. Like he's way clunkier.
Yeah,
but not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
Like he moved great. The costume in that I think is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and the head turn, like he can actually do head turns. I'm pretty sure in that. So, which is a big thing.
I don't know. I do like the no head turn.
Yeah, like
it's unreal.
like
but I kind of like the whole like. There's something way more imposing that I think when I think
you have to like turn around completely.
When you have to physically turn towards someone versus just turning your head.
It's like The Undertaker if we're doing wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
That might be. Dude, that's amazing. It's
like
totally Undertaker doing the sit up and turn.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think there's something about that. And I know, Rohan, you were saying about like the physicality, and for some reason I keep my brain just shot to the opening scene in 89 Batman, where he's on the roof with the 2 thugs, and like he's so swift in his mannerisms and in his movements, and I think that it's super calculated, and you see that again at the end of that movie with the thug that's doing all the movement, the bald guy with the mustache or whatever. Yep. And I think the movements are so swift, and that's where I kind of really love 89 Batman. So Rohan, which one is your favorite? All those things considered.
So number 1 is Pattinson. Just off of physicality, Pattinson, then Affleck, then Bale. Obviously, Bale had like a killer physique, Yeah. So then second, fight scenes. So fight scenes, I gotta give it to Ben Affleck's fight scenes, just in Batman vs Superman, because you kind of see like the fight scenes become less and less realistic, but it's super cool to see Batman just like own Superman. Like he just like totally KOs him. Then he takes him by like a chain and just drags him across. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and then when the Martha scene happens, but it's okay. We can forgive
we're not
that.
going to talk about the Martha scene anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Why did you say that name?
Yeah. Then
that whole scene, like with the whole movie, it plays out like an SNL skit.
Yeah.
Bucci, who is your best Batman portrayal?
All right, so this is tough for me because Batman is my guy. Everyone always associates me with Star Wars, but I actually like Batman more than Star Wars, and not a lot of people know that. I think it's because the library is just littered with Star Wars paraphernalia.
Yes.
This is crazy.
And that's just because people gift me that stuff. Everything that you see, most of the stuff that I have Star Wars is stuff that people have just given to me, which is nice, and I love Star Wars. But like Star Wars, as a kid growing up, was always there. Like I don't remember discovering Star Wars. My brother liked it. He grew up with it. And like it was just always in my life. So of course I love Star Wars. But Batman 89, when I went to the theater as a kid to see that, was the first time like something blew my mind, where I was like, this is the thing. This is my thing. And it's been ever since. So 89 Batman, Michael Keaton, he holds such a place in my heart because that like changed my life. Like I just love Batman. That got me into comic books. Like I liked Batman before that, but it was like the cheesy Adam West, like the Super Friends. It was like, it's Batman. Like he's a funny guy.
It's a kid's cartoon.
And then like I saw that movie. I was like 9 or 10, and to see something like that dark, I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So like he's been my Batman forever, which is
I see,
weird,
see what you did there.
Yeah, see what I did there.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to say this in terms of like who portrays the essence of Batman the best. I think I got to go with Affleck because he really is like the quintessential comic book Batman. And if we're looking for like an objective, like who's the best version of Batman, like Affleck kind of hits all the check boxes for me. And
I agree.
When we talk
he's not
about
my favorite.
That is very
right. He's not my
controversial.
favorite. Like Keaton will always be my favorite, but in terms of portrayal, like here's what I pose to people who ask me this: if we put all of the Batmen in a room, we put Adam West, Batman, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Pattinson, Bale, and Batfleck, and say, have at it. There's only one Batman that's walking out of that fight,
Right.
and that's Batfleck.
Yeah.
He will destroy them.
Yeah.
If Batfleck took on Bale's Bane, he would be cracking Tom Hardy over his knee. Like,
and that too.
There's no doubt about
the
it.
The fight scenes would be hilarious because Tom
Yeah.
Hardy is not a very tall guy. And
No, he's not.
And then you have this absolute monster that is Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah.
And he's walking over and just like, and the movie's over. The Bane breaking Batman scene would have never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't do it with Batfleck. Yeah, I kind of agree with everything you say, Bucci, because Batman 89, same thing for me. Like I was a little bit younger, but I still remember like my dad had the VHS of that thing, and that thing was beat up. We just watched it nonstop, and even as like a 6, 7, 8-year-old, like I knew every line from that movie.
Yep.
You guys are old.
Yeah. but you got to remember too, Rohan, like superheroes at the time were cheesy, and like the first, you
have Adam West, right? Like
you have, but that was even 30 years before like our time or Batman 89. You've got really this like, you had Superman, right, with Christopher Reeves, which was really cool and everything, but he was still like a skinny guy wearing spandex.
Yeah.
And to see Michael Keaton,
And it was a fun family film.
Yeah, it wasn't like anything like edgy.
Yeah, I mean, that first scene when you see Batman open and it's like the rooftop and the two guys, and I still remember always thinking bad guys had scruff on their face because like those two like guys that are up there, one of them they have like the bags under his eyes, like they look like drug addicts. Like the other one's got just like the scruff all over his face too. Even the detective kind of had like the mustache, but he had the scruff too, where he looked unshaved and unkept. And that always stood out to me, where I was just like, this is serious. This is like a real, like this is real. This is intense. So I got to go Keaton, nostalgia. But I think as far as Bucci, you said it perfect. Objective, it's Batfleck. Best total package, though, and I want to consider all things, not just Batman, but if we can also weigh in the portrayal of the villains, we could also portray or tie in the aesthetic of the scenery of Gotham, with how Gotham is portrayed. Where are you going for best total package? I'm going to tell you that for me, it's the animated series. I think that is, and I almost feel like I don't want to talk about the animated series as we're ranking each category, because it's just going to be animated series. I think that's the best Bruce Wayne. I think that's the best Batman. I think that's it's the best for everything, and it's a cartoon. But like we can't say it enough. I think it's the best.
Yeah,
to me, it's because of Gotham. I mean, it's because of everything, right? But like the way that Gotham is portrayed, it just looks classic. It looks old. It looks like the 1920s, 30s, 40s. Like it just looks like a different time period in the world. I love that it's not modern.
Batman, like the animated series, the one that came out, Batman Brave and Brave Beyond, something like that. That was my introduction to Batman.
Okay.
Like how how you have like a classic the 60s Spider-Man one, like the Spider-Man. Like I used to watch that and the Batman show, like the Batman, like the animated show. That was basically my introduction to like superheroes. And then like I thought he was so cool. Like he was just like this, and like they show him as basically a shadow. Like in some scenes, he kind of like emerged. Like they did a really good job at like kind of showing him into the light, and he's like this absolute darkness, and just like come into like an actual figure. And I remember thinking, that's so cool.
Are you saying,
if I could get,
are you saying that's your best Batman total package?
No, best Batman total package is Arkham.
Okay.
I want to get nerdy for a second. If we can just stick on the animated series. So when I went to the Warner Brothers lot, and they had this huge like Batman museum there, it's if you guys haven't seen it, you have to go. The thing I learned there about the animated series and what Rohan's saying about the darkness of it is, for the cartoon, instead of using the white cells and then putting the colors on, they actually used black cells and then added the color. That's why the animated series has such a unique dark look, because they didn't use the traditional white cells to color on it. It was black cells.
That's so cool.
That's so cool. I mean, you just put Spider-Man, the 90s one, next to just a screen grab from that.
Yeah.
A screen grab from even like the brightest sunny day scene from the animated series. And it's a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
And Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman.
He's the voice of Batman.
Kevin Conroy is just
he is the perfect Batman voice, because he's got all three. Like
he has a Bruce Wayne.
He's got a Bruce Wayne, the broody. Yep. He's got kind of like the jovial, like I'm going to go to all the galas and the balls. And his Batman voice is awesome. Plus, man, that show, it's just the total package, just because of the writing too, what they're able to do in 21 minutes.
I mean, they create a whole story, and then like they just give it to you. Like it's marketed to kids, which is
but it's so much smarter than that. Like the silicone heart, like that one with the robot Batman, and the theme at the end where like he can't kill Batman because he learns what it is to be human. And it's like, what? That's for 7-year-old? Like 7-year-old me watched that, and obviously that went all over my head. I was just like, robot evil Batman. Watching that now as an adult, I'm like, this is mind blowing. The Two-Face 2-parter, the Clayface 2-parter, like that's
the Mr. Freeze introduction.
Oh my goodness, the Mr. Freeze one alone it's perfection.
If they ever try to adapt Mr. Freeze again for a movie, it has to be that storyline.
Absolutely.
That was. Yeah,
they kind of try to do that a little bit with Arnold. At
the end. that was
not
the
even close.
first. That was the first, I think, and only time when I went to go see Batman and Robin. The first and only time I ever wanted to walk out of a theater, but I couldn't because I couldn't drive yet.
Yeah.
But like I hated that. I haven't hated a movie like that probably since like The Last Jedi. I hated it that much too.
Wait, Last Jedi is 8 or 9? Yeah, 8.
Oh,
that was horrible.
Yeah, we'll save that for another podcast. But Batman and Robin to me is one of the worst movies ever made.
I mean,
it really is.
Destroyed it. It destroyed
I
it.
liked it when it came out because I was in 5th grade. So
that was a target audience.
I'm not going to talk to you again.
That was the because they basically let So,
but I was all into the
we are
action
no longer
figures.
Friends. No, I get it. Yeah,
I was all into the action figures, man, and like I watched Batman Returns, I believe, in the movie theater, and I really liked it. I wasn't scared by the
my
penguin.
favorite Christmas movie, by the way.
We watched it. That was our first Christmas movie that we watched this Christmas season, actually.
Excellent.
It's objectively a Christmas movie for sure.
Just like Die Hard.
Just like Die Hard.
Die Hard. That movie's great.
No, I agree. I agree with those two takes.
So, Batman and like Robin. So basically the whole point of that was like, so you had like Batman, like Michael Keaton, and then like they let Michael Keaton. What was the second movie he had? I forgot now.
Batman Returns.
Yeah. So Returns was like, I mean, there's like more edgy themes to it, like even more edgy than like the Batman, right? And so DC was like, we're selling to kids. Tim Burton, come on, you got to remember this. And like
that's exactly it.
And then they were like,
wasn't it McDonald's that was like the big one that was upset?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
it was
they wanted to sell action figures and toys.
And then there was like some like very strange material. I watched it recently, and I'm like, what? I mean,
it is. I mean, Batman Returns. It is pretty.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre,
but it's Tim Burton bizarre.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton. It's no different than Nightmare Before Christmas bizarre at times, or any of his other stuff that he's done.
And then you have like Batman Forever, right? Which is Batman Forever comes before Batman and Robin, right? Because you have Val Kilmer, right? So
Batman,
that one
was okay. It's okay.
Batman Forever,
I love it, but I don't hate it.
I like the Val Kilmer did an okay job. You know, it wasn't but that was the first one with Joel Schumacher, right? Because they booted Burton. Right? Yeah. And then they're like, okay, Burton? No, Schumacher. So they told Schumacher, all right, go nuts, go bananas. You know? And then they created the abomination that is Batman and Robin.
But that opening scene in Forever, too, you get that aesthetic for what Gotham looks like, and it looks very different than what it looked like in the first two movies.
Yeah, it's like, what happened here?
Yeah, it's like, it's bright lights. It's like the entire thing is a circus. Like, the entire town is just a circus. So, yeah, I think we're all on the same page, it sounds like, with either Arkham or animated series. You know, the one thing I thought that was really cool in Batman Forever was this is because of the toys, and it was like my peak, like, action figure playing, like, time period. And, yeah, I'm going to get beat up now by my students. Now that they know that I played with action figures like in third,
I
fourth,
still
and
have
fifth grade.
all of them. I still have all of them.
Oh, no, I still have all of them, but I was like legitimately playing with them back then. Oh, I love it. Nice, Rohan.
I have this on my desk.
The one thing I loved, and I love that you're showing the Batmobile there, is, and this is a perfect segue for us, I loved at the time the Batmobile in Batman Forever. Like, I love the exposed skeleton look, because I remember buying like the action figure toy of it, and it had like the glow blue, the blue part of it like glowed up, I guess, or lit up, or something like that. And I thought that looked really, really cool, and it was way more modern. Now, obviously, I don't feel that way. I think it's the '89 Batmobile is one of the coolest vehicles. The way that it, like, if I could have that in my driveway.
Honestly,
I wouldn't, because it would get vandalized.
But honestly,
you'd have to activate the shield.
Obviously, the stop animation shield.
I mean, but
so let me pose this to you guys: best vehicle and or gadget. I'm gonna go '89 Batmobile, and I think a second runner-up for me is the Batwing. I think the visual of it going up in the sky and then covering the moon, that alone, I'm like, man, that thing is awesome.
All right, so
Bucci, let's start with you. Which vehicle or gadget are you going?
All right, so anytime someone ever asks me, like, oh, if you ever won the lottery, what's like the first thing you would do? And it's
Tell
always
me it's the Batwing.
I would go and buy the '89 Batmobile. Like, I would go and find one or have one made. That is going to be the first purchase. That is my favorite vehicle in any movie ever. I would rather have that than like the Millennium Falcon. Like 89
Would you
Batmobile,
drive it to school
100%.
every day?
Yes.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You're not going to make it up Nolan though. That thing is low to the ground.
Well, I'll fire that hook thing that comes out and grapple around. And
yeah, if we ever have ice.
And then in terms of gadgets, because I think, did you say gadgets or are we just doing vehicles?
Yeah, vehicles and gadgets.
All right, I'm gonna zag here, and I'm gonna go with the shark repellent from the bat shark repellent from the '66 Batman show. So for those youngins that's never watched the Batman '66 TV show, Batman's trying to get up the bat helicopter, and a shark jumps out of the water and is stuck on Batman's leg, and Batman, who has everything in his utility belt, happens to have the Batman anti-shark repellent in his utility belt, and he takes out the spray and he sprays the shark, and the shark falls off of his leg. So that just shows, like, in any situation, Batman can always come up on top.
I imagine like Robin, like 4 days before that, was like, shark repellent. Holy cow, Batman! Like, why would you need this? He's like, you never know, Robin.
You never know.
Rohan, what is your favorite? Let's go top two if you need.
All right,
favorite vehicle and or gadget.
So vehicle, I have two of them. So I'm a bit more, a little bit more modern with it. I think the tumbler from the Dark Knight trilogy is so freaking cool. It has such a cool sound, and then like the back burner as well. Like, and especially when you go into like you get into like the weapons mode. It's super cool.
Where he sinks down like under it, right?
Yeah, I think the 89 is like a given, the Batmobile and Batwing. But one thing I did like from the Pattinson movie was the very, very different style of Batmobile. It was basically an ATV, but it looked super cool, and the fire in the back was the blue fire was such a nice touch. Yeah, so that is my, so like the 89, obviously both the Batmobile and the Batwing and the Tumbler, and as a runner-up, I'd give the Batman Batmobile. But I feel like they deliberately left it as like very bare bones on purpose, because I feel like they're building a whole arc for the character, and I feel like that's definitely something they're going to build on.
Yeah, very year
one-ish,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Favorite or top two? I'm not going to make you pick just one. Let's do top two favorite Batman movies. Let's do lightning round. No explanation. We've talked about them nonstop. I'll go first. I'll tell you mine are Batman 89 and Dark Knight. Dark Knight, I can pretty much Dark Knight is like walk the line for me. I can, every time it's on, I could just sit there and watch it from any point that the movie started, and I'm content. I gave an explanation, though I said not to. Bucci, go ahead.
Batman 89 and Batman v Superman.
All right.
Rohan,
we know where you're going to go with this.
Batman 22 and Dark Knight.
Awesome. All right, so
I still think Dark Knight Rises is better, but that's okay.
Go ahead, and now's the time to actually address this. Why is Dark Knight Rises better?
I think so. In terms of, again, if we're going to be objective movie making, The Dark Knight is the better movie. Should have won Best Picture, or at least should have been nominated that year, but Heath Ledger won. But in terms of own personal entertainment value, I'd rather sit and watch The Dark Knight Rises more than The Dark Knight. I just feel like it's more entertaining.
Honestly, I see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, it's got more action. I love, like, I'm a sucker for, like, the hero loses really badly and then has to like Rocky or Hulk up and come back at the end and like he beats Bane and Talia. Whereas like The Dark Knight, it's like he almost loses at the end, and it's like the Joker kind of wins. He messes up Two-Face. Batman goes into exile. It's sad. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but I like The Dark Knight Rises better. I think to me, I can find more entertainment value in it.
Yeah.
No. Do you like Return of the Jedi more than Empire Strikes Back?
No.
Okay. All right.
I was worried there for a second.
Yeah. Favorite, this is a perfect transition too. I wonder if you'd agree with this, Bucci, that Dark Knight was almost more of like the highlight on the villains rather than the heroes conquering and reconquering and falling and then rising back up. And maybe 100%. That's why it's so beloved. You agree with that?
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Like Heath Ledger stole that movie.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And
I mean,
and Two-Face was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought you could have held him off for a separate movie, which I was very surprised that they fully started his storyline, peaked it, and then ended it kind of quickly, if you ask me. But, I mean, I have no complaints about that movie at all. Favorite Batman villains in general? Not just, I mean, we can pick a certain portrayal if we want to, but... Favorite Batman villains? You can go top 5, you go top 3, whatever is your preference. And if you have a specific affinity towards one version, make sure you say it. Rohan, go ahead.
All right, number 1, you obviously know what it's going to be. It's going to be Joker.
I agree.
The Heath Ledger version totally kills it, but every iteration except Jared Leto is great.
Yeah.
It really shows I mean, I'm sure as an English teacher, you can relate character foils, they're kind of opposites, but in the same way they're the same. They're both insane, right? They've both kind of like gone off the deep end, and they're both trying to grapple with the effects. One is trying to save the city. One is just a chaos maker, And second is definitely it's Two-Face. Two-Face is such an interesting moral character. Like it's his morality. Yes. How he leads everything up to a coin flip is just, I think it's great.
See, I love everything about except for Tommy Lee Jones' portrayal. I mean, it's like Tommy Lee Jones basically saw Jack Nicholson and was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll do that.
I could do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no. Don't do that. It's not what you're supposed to do, dude. And he had that Two-Face. Two-Face in every portrayal except for that one, I think has been just phenomenal. And I agree with everything you're saying, Rohan. For me, the more interesting part is the constant trying to make something better, trying to fix the justice system, trying to do right, and inevitably just the world screwing you over and him just kind of descending into madness. I've always loved that aspect of Two-Face, where it's not so much almost the character himself, it's more of the Harvey Dent up until he eventually becomes Two-Face. The coin flip stuff is cool, but I just always kind of loved, and I thought they did a great job in Dark Knight, obviously, and the two-part Two-Face, one of the animated series, Harvey Dent is, I think, a really, really great character, and I love that the animated series spent so much time establishing Harvey Dent in so many episodes before the Two-Face episode, which was just such a nice touch that you just really became acquainted with Bruce Wayne's relationship with him, with his, his foothold in the city as well. But Two-Face is definitely up there for me too. Rohan, who else you got? Those are my top 2.
All right, so then we get into my next choice is Hush. Hush is
okay.
Yeah, it's like he's like another great example of a character foil. You have one orphan, one tries to mimic the other, and he kind of drives them both insane, I was actually hoping at the end of the Pattinson Batman that instead of Joker, it would be Hush. Because he still has the scars, but it makes so much more sense for it to be a Hush. Because, it totally leads to that buildup of, he's, about hope now and about, better things. And Hush would totally try to drag that down and, make him, bring him back, try to bring him back into that darkness.
I agree with you. As much as, I mean, I think we've seen enough Jokers.
Also, and the problem with Joker is that
would have been a better choice.
The problem with Joker is that you've basically inevitably go into it's what I like to call the Ledger paradox. You can never escape it. Joker will no matter who you cast, you can never outdo Heath Ledger, right?
Yeah.
It is a you cannot do that. So I'm really, really hoping that it's Hush instead of the Joker.
I actually would have been okay with that too, as much as, again, he's my favorite Batman villain. He's probably the greatest superhero comic book villain of all time, maybe. I would have been totally fine not having Joker in it. Yeah. And I really and I don't want to take this train off the tracks too much. I really am totally fine with Joker not being a focal point of the second one at all. I don't know what the plan is. I really haven't read much about it at all, but I think it'd be cool if he kind of played like a Hannibal Lecter kind of role, where help Batman solve stuff. Keep him in the prison. Don't let him out. We've seen that version of him. It'd be so cool to have the psychological dynamic between the two, and then let there be, another physical villain on the outside.
It looks like they've already tried to like set that up, as in like, because they already have Batman who clearly caught the Joker before, because this is his second year doing it, right? So he's clearly caught the Joker before, and he mentioned it's a comeback story. So that's a big clue. I'm saying it's not Joker in the prison. It's Hush, because I hope so. It's a comeback story, you know? That'd make way more sense. That'd line up way more. But if it's a Joker, the Hannibal Lecter scenario would be very cool to see.
Yeah, I'd like that.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Like that a lot.
And then
who else you got, Rohan? Round it out.
All right, we got Riddler, obviously, because the Riddler is like the perfect antithesis to Batman's detective side. You know, those two, because Batman has like three sides: physical, mental, and like emotional. But emotional, you really don't see until Bruce Wayne comes. But basically, physical and mental. Basically, like Bane really gets to the physical side. Like I see Joker as like pushing him both to his limits, but Bane pushes Batman to his physical limits, and Riddler pushes him to his intellectual limits. Really, like, because Riddler is really, really smart, and that kind of drives Batman to go into this detective mode. Because the real threat isn't like physical violence, you know? Because Batman, if he and Riddler had a one-on-one, Batman would like done.
Yeah.
But it's the intellectual battle, like the battle of the mind. And then obviously number 5 is Bane.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my list.
Riddler and Bane, never crazy big fans of, and I think I've seen them only as pretty one-dimensional. But I like your take on the Riddler. Bucci, who you got?
Best Batman villain ever, Condiment King. Oh wait, no, that's the worst one. We'll get to that later. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the Joker. We don't have to relitigate that. Just what's interesting though, like at what we were saying about like let's give the Joker a rest for a little bit. I remember seeing Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal, which was great as well.
Yeah, I loved it.
And talking to like comic book fans, I remembered someone. I was arguing with them because they were like, "Oh, this is the prequel to The Dark Knight, right? He becomes Heath Ledger's Joker," and I'm like, "No, like, what?
no."
Like, you know, it's like, okay, like, see, people like people who aren't in the world like we are, just they're not getting all like, the different versions of it.
I loved the Joker just because of this. There's so many possibilities on what actually happened. You know, there's a crazy theory that none of the movie actually happened. You know how he starts like almost like a civil rebellion.
Bucci, who else do you have?
All right, so let's go Catwoman.
Okay.
I think she's a great villain because then she also becomes a love interest, right?
Yeah.
And what an interesting story. Like, you fall in love with the person you're trying to capture, and they literally play the cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
Over the years, you know, they get together, they break up. You know, Batman tries to save her by making her a good guy, and sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. I think in the comics they tried to get married, but then that didn't work out. You know, I've been loosely following some of the modern stuff, but like, what a great villain. You know, like someone you can't be with, but that's the person, of course, you're going to fall in love with. I'm a sucker for that.
That's pretty cool. It's always hard for me to explain to my son, who's 5. Like, he's like, "Is she a good guy or bad guy?" I'm like, "Yes,
Yes, yeah,
both."
That is a very good way to describe it. Yes.
Yeah.
Who else you got in your top 5?
Like Mr. Freeze, I think that's just a fun concept. Again, the animated series and the Arkham, the Arkham game, Mr. Freeze, like great fun portrayals. I hope that's where they go eventually with live action. And Bane, I really like Bane as a villain, the physicality of Bane, but the genius of Bane. He's not just a brute; like he's a genius too. Like he outwitted Batman. In the comic storyline, if we're going to talk comic books, Nightfall, you know, he has the plan to figure out who Batman is. He breaks all the villains out of Arkham to wear Batman down, and then when Batman's like at his lowest point is when he attacks and breaks Batman. And it's Dark Knight Rises kind of follows a similar story. Except, you know, they can't do the whole thing. And I love that. Like in the movie version, he's like, I was wondering what would give first, you know, your body or your spirit, and then it's like, and then he breaks him. Like this is the guy that broke Batman. Like we always say, like Batman can win any fight, this is the guy that broke Batman that he lost to. Like that's awesome.
My excuse
awesome.
for that is that Batman didn't have prep time.
He didn't have prep. He didn't adequately warm up. He didn't study for the test.
No, because I think Affleck kind of shows how powerful Batman is with prep time. If he has like a couple of days to this
12-week training program.
Exactly. No, not even just that. It's a couple of days. He steals kryptonite. He builds a kryptonite weapon. Like, and Alfred is like super underrated in that entire franchise just because of how crazy good of an engineer he is. Right? He helps Bruce Wayne engineer like these like kind of like gas, like kryptonite gas things, which weaken Superman. And then it just shows how smart he is to be able to like analyze the situation, say, okay, this is how I take him down, and then does it. And the problem with Dark Knight Rises, and when he faces off against Bane, this is a Batman that just come out of retirement. He had a problem with his knee. He just puts some like knee tech over it, and all of a sudden, like that doesn't work. Like it takes a couple of days to get adjusted to that. He goes nope, straight in for the fight, which is very very out of character for Batman.
Bane is pretty awesome. So he doesn't. But for me, my top 5 is Joker, Two-Face. I said I'm gonna put Mr. Freeze purely from the animated series. Like just that one portrayal alone makes him easily in my top 5. Probably number 3. Number 4, I'm gonna go Clayface. Always loved Clayface. I think
Clayface
this.
is good.
That two-parter is maybe my favorite episode or episodes of the animated series, and I just love the shape shifting of him. Like as a kid, I always thought that was super cool, and his whole story is it's sad. He's a sad character trying to regain past glory. I think that's a pretty cool concept, and then just the portrayal of what he looks like, I think, is really amazing. And then this might also just be like loving the animated series and nostalgic, but I loved Man-Bat. I thought Man-Bat was just so cool that he was like the freak giant bat. But I also, watching it now through a different lens, I really kind of like the Jekyll and Hyde aspect of him too, where like this guy's like, oh man, like bats are the future. Humankind, we've screwed each other over. We're terrible, but bats don't do that. I like that too. Plus
yeah,
the
that's
toy.
what's the Arkham game when like Man-Bat comes out of nowhere and like. I remember that scared the life out of me. You're just like on the roof, and then all of a sudden, like Man-Bat just like comes in the face on the screen and screams.
I gotta get these Arkham games
because I think it was Arkham City.
I mean, I played through like a couple of them, but like I never like played for completion. I was just at like a friend's house, but it was super fun. All of them were like really really engaging. Also, like,
Bucci, I got to pick your brain about that at some point because I feel like I gotta get the Arkham games.
Also, like the Arkham Batman. Arkham Batman is so cool.
That's all I've heard is just like it's like amazing.
You're basically playing as like the animated series Batman.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great.
That is awesome. So as we're winding down here, I think let's also make sure that we chat about some graphic novels and comic books, being that we have a media specialist and an English teacher here. So without spending too much time talking about each one, let's pick our top 3 graphic novels. So we've got listeners who are into Batman, who maybe know these, or maybe we've got listeners who are like, yeah, I like Batman, and they're thinking like, where can I scratch that itch to maybe get some reading material into? Which ones would you recommend? What are your favorites? I know those are two maybe different questions. What you would recommend and what your favorites are. But Rohan, what are your favorites?
So definitely you got to go Batman Year One. That is like a great way to
Year
like.
One's great.
That it's like it's also a good one to recommend as well. Great way to jump into like a Batman story. It basically follows like kind of a similar premise to Pattinson's Batman. Like similar concept, like you have a very young Batman. He's still learning what it's like to be Batman. Very, very, very like the art style is great. Frank Miller killed it.
Yeah, Frank
Miller and it's just really fun. And then obviously you gotta go with God. How am I forgetting this? Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight Returns. That is such a great story of it kind of like Batfleck, and this old veteran Batman. He's fought out so much stuff, and he basically ends up fighting everybody. It's so much fun.
He fights Superman.
He fights Superman.
Yeah,
that's like the first time they like really battle.
Yeah,
I need to reread it because hot take here. I hated it.
Really?
I think it was.
Wow.
I think it was hyped so much as like this is canon. You have to read it, and you read it
later in life.
Yes, yeah. I read it basically like 2017. Like I just somehow something kicked, and I just went on a spending spree on graphic novels, and obviously like that was like I scoured every top 10 list and was basically like, yep, I'm getting this, getting all. I totally understand the historical context of like the portrayal at the time, and I appreciate the story for sure, and I get the importance of it, and I need to reread it, but I was so turned off by the news reporters.
I knew you were going to say that. I was going to say that.
It drove me nuts. I understood they were trying to create a lot. The talking heads. Like I understand that was a lot of like the political commentary that they were going for, and the media's portrayal, and I know that it had a purpose. And the exposition was important, but every time I turned a page, and as soon as I would see the whole panel of the talking heads, I'm like, enough with this. I get it. Like, it doesn't need to be constantly. It drove me nuts.
Okay. Well, you should definitely give it another read.
I'll give it another try, but yeah.
So, I am split for third. I will give two... one of them isn't really a graphic novel. One of them is just a whole storyline, but one of them...
that's okay, too.
So, graphic novel... Darkest Night, Batman Who Laughs. It had such a great build up, but the ending was just kind of meh. Like so basically, for those that don't know, the story of Batman Who Laughs so it's called a dark universe. So basically, assume that every negative action that happens in the regular multiverse happens in this dark multiverse. So think about a bunch of rogue Batmans, and then in one universe. In the dark multiverse, Batman and Joker have a final fight. Batman kills Joker, but Joker releases a Joker toxin on Batman, which slowly turns him so he has the brains of Batman, but the insanity of Joker, which basically creates the most insane supervillain of all time. And
that's pretty cool.
So he figures out multi-dimensional travel, obviously, because he's Batman, and he recruits all these Batmen from the dark multiverse, and basically wages war on the entire cosmos. It's so much fun to read.
That's pretty cool.
And
Bucci, what are your? Sorry, go ahead, Rohan.
Yeah, the character design for Batman versus not Batman versus Superman. Batman Who Laughs, super cool, especially when they add the visor with the spikes. He is so cool. I got it. Like, it's so much fun.
I've never read it. I have to check it out now. That sounds very, very cool.
Yeah, I've read pieces of it. It is pretty cool. It's one of the cooler like modern day takes.
But another one I really like is the Injustice storyline. It's not inherently Batman. It's the entire multiverse, but the Injustice storyline I find super interesting. The whole story of Batman going evil, right? And like the Joker ends up breaking Batman, right, to a certain extent. I mean, at least the version I saw of like the Killing Joke, the animated series, Joker breaks Superman, and then Superman goes nuts and like basically turns the Earth into like a police state. Just kind of deals with like what happens when you break such a wholesome character like that, right? Because Lois is like his like weak point, right? Lois and his child. And what happens when you break such a nice person? So,
which is a pretty cool concept, right? Because like if you're wholesome, the whole idea is you cannot be broken. Bucci, what are your top three?
Well, yeah, I was just to go back to that for a second. It's the nature versus nurture argument, and I love those stories. So, like for Superman, there's Red Sun when his ship crashed in communist Russia.
Oh, that was so much fun as well.
Yeah, there's Speeding Bullets, which is one of my favorites. And that's where Superman lands in Gotham and is raised by Martha and Thomas Kent.
Don't say
Thomas,
that
name.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne. And they and like so he becomes Batman. Superman becomes Batman. That's a really fun Elseworld story. Of course, it's called Speeding Bullets. Nightfall I love, which I mentioned before, because it's the breaking of the bat. And then all-time favorite graphic novel of all time is Kingdom Come. That came out in 96, and that's like the future, the first like time we see the future of the DC universe, where Superman is in hiding because of something that had happened, and Batman's also older, and it's the old superheroes basically having to come out of retirement because the new superheroes, the young kids, are like out of control. And it's just, oh man, it's so great. It's painted by Alex Ross.
That gives me
has some of the
Watchmen vibes. You have all these superheroes like coming out of retirement and like kind of like seeing what's going on.
Have you read it? Have you read that?
I have not read Watchmen. I know like the basic premise.
No, Kingdom Come.
Oh, I've not read
Have you read Kingdom Come?
I have to.
You have
Yes,
to.
I will definitely.
It has one of my favorite Batman moments of all time in it. Have you read it, Ancona?
I haven't. I was actually just looking on Amazon to try to throw them in my cart. Can I borrow Speeding Bullets and Kingdom Come?
Yes.
Do you have them?
Of course I do. I have multiple copies of Kingdom Come. I have the Absolute Edition. There's so many Easter eggs in Kingdom Come. It is one of the greatest stories, and there's a fight at the end with an older Superman fights Shazam.
Okay.
As I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
It is, and then the Batman moment. It's just building and building because he's reluctant to like come help, and he's kind of playing both sides. And it just brews to the end, and the end issue is just unbelievable. The panels, and I'm telling you, it has one of my favorite Batman moments ever in it.
My top three, I guess if I had to choose, there's so many that are good. Long Halloween, I absolutely loved. I love the detective side of Batman, I think maybe more than anything.
Yeah.
And I also love, kind of like Hush, but I like the storyline and the writing of Long Halloween better. I loved the cameos of all the different villains in both Hush and Long Halloween, but I also loved that the focus was on the mob and on this detective story of trying to find out, who killed. That to me, that's hands down my favorite. Court of Owls, which is newer. Love that. I thought that was fantastic.
That's a fun story.
Oh,
brother,
yeah, Court of Owls.
It's such a terrific story. My brother-in-law is huge into all of this too. I could have had him on this too.
We'd never get done.
No, seriously. And he's been telling me basically that's where he's been reading that they're going with the Pattinson Batman next.
Oh yeah.
The third one,
Long Halloween.
One of those two.
Yeah.
With Court of Owls, and then the final one, totally different. I don't even know if it's my favorite, but I've really just been digging them. Earth One, where it's just a reimagined version of all the things that happened. Penguin is the mayor, and he's the reason that he's the one who killed Thomas and Martha.
Oh, I haven't read that one. We're going to have to trade tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't read Earth One.
It's just a completely reimagined, Batman, and it's so cool. Two-Face. I don't want to spoil anything, but like, Two-Face has a twin, and it's
that's interesting.
Oh,
It's and there's a psychological aspect to it. Like, it's basically just totally revamped.
Yeah, I mean, Long Halloween is definitely something that they took elements from Year One, a Long Halloween. I can totally see them bringing Court of Owls into the Pattinson universe.
It fits perfbefectly, right?
That'd be so cool to see all of that.
Oh, by the way, I'd be remiss as the librarian to not mention that I've been adding graphic novels to the library, and we have some of the titles we've mentioned. So if any of you out there listening are interested in the Long Halloween, Nightfall, Kingdom Come, I have those. We have them in the library.
I'm 1 year
the Dark
too
Knight
late.
Returns.
1 year too late, Rohan. Totally
and others.
worth checking out.
We got a whole slew of DC graphic novels and more coming.
Well, as we're wrapping up here, we can do a part 2 on this pretty easily, I think, right?
Yeah.
Rohan, what is your prescription to solve the DCU problem?
Okay.
How do you fix it?
So it all has to do with Zack
in like 2 minutes.
So Zack Snyder.
How would you fix it?
So you have Man of Steel.
Don't give us the Snyder Cut version of how you would fix it.
So
4 hours later.
you have Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. I'm just gonna use Ultimate Edition because I liked Ultimate Edition better than the original one, which is the one released on HBO Max. I like the cut better. So they're the same movie. It's not like there's major differences. But Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and then you kind of create a split. So there's a split between the Whedon universe and the Snyderverse. So you have Justice League, right, which is what I call the 2017 one, which spawns Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and eventually what's going to lead up to Flash. So this is what's officially canon right now. But after Batman vs Superman, you have a split, right? The Snyderverse. So the Snyderverse is the one that's actually successful. So I believe they're going to end up with an Injustice storyline. Did you guys watch? You guys watched the Snyder Cut, I'm guessing, right? You guys saw the ending?
Yeah.
I
haven't gotten to it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Bucci knows what I'm talking about.
The length of it is what has been keeping me.
I watched it with my dad over a
so
course
good.
of like 3 days, so...
I love the
Snyder Cut. That's what I've heard. People have said.
Yeah,
just split it up over a couple of viewings, and it's really enjoyable.
Yeah,
I happened to be sick the day it was released.
Oh,
so I was able
perfect
to watch it. What a coincidence that was.
So you have the Snyder Cut. So it has like these very post-apocalyptic visions of like Superman going rogue. So basically the Injustice storyline comes to be, but this happens in actually, so it's leading up to the Justice League timeline. What I think is going to happen is going to be an Injustice storyline and the Flash movie. See, whenever you have like a bunch of convoluted storylines, you bring in a time traveler because the time traveler always fixes things, right? So you have a very convoluted timeline. You have a Flash movie coming up, and you have Batman's coming in. I think they're gonna go retcon this Justice League to the Snyderverse, and the Snyderverse will be the exact same thing. But there's a lot of differences between the Justice League and Snyderverse, like Flash time traveling. He's learning to because he knows how to time travel in this version. Like, he's very confident in his abilities. Because in the other one, he almost fails. But this one, he's very confident. He knows how to do it. He just runs around, and does it. And saves the world. And the team actually works more cohesively in Snyder Cut versus Justice League. Which shows like maybe this is like a repeat of the same event. So, basically the way to fix it is finish Justice League, bring it in Justice event, and retcon it to Snyder Cut. And that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
So that is.
I just think it's a big sandbox. I think they should embrace the multiverse, and I think everything should be canon. You know, the Christopher Reeves movies, they happened in that universe.
I mean, I think
the Batman '89 universe, that's over
that
there. You know, just everything is canon. And then 1 year, 10 years from now, they can do a big crisis movie. And all the universes come together.
Yeah, so
is my pitch.
They just fixed as long as they fix the main timeline, because you have two branches with the Snyderverse and the Justice League verse. So you just fix that, retcon that, and then bring all of the DC properties into one extended. Like, you have the Pattinson Batman, Keaton Batman, the Schumacher Batmans, Val Kilmer and George Clooney, and you have all of them, and the Joker, right? You have them all just, and it's like one massive extended universe. Which could lead to some crisis event. I like what Bucci said.
Here's my final thought on that, and I don't have a solution. Why does it have to all be connected?
It doesn't. They can just be separate franchises, but connected through a shared multiverse. Just kind of like how you have different properties, but they kind of exist under the same name, like DC. You have a DC.
I guess I just keep thinking Marvel in a way ruined it for any
themselves.
Type of because now it's everything
has to be connected,
and it's everything has to branch off, and you've got this family tree that's going to be 70 generations from Iron Man at a certain point. Where I mean, I get that there's a lot of really cool writing that goes on with that, and a lot of cool creativity, but I don't know. For me, I'm just kind of
yeah, I mean,
they could just be reboots.
I'm burnt out of Marvel, which is really weird because I've been ever since I saw Avengers, I've been I love Marvel. But then Phase 4 has not been
one phase. That's it.
Phase 4 has not been hitting as hard as phases 1 to 3 have.
Rohan, Mr. Bucci, cannot thank you guys enough for doing this. I love Batman so much. He is my favorite superhero of all time. Let's definitely circle back and do a Marvel one. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun too. Until next time, stay safe, stay hungry. I'm Batman.